Hi guys, this is video tutorial for NeutrinoParticles editor, and in this tutorial I will tell about attached emitters. So I made such sample where I have two emitters, one projectile, you can see one by one shooting up, and a spray emitter in zero position. So if I want to attach spray emitter to each particle of projectile, I will have a copy of that spray emitter attached to each particle of projectile, or instance of spray emitter attached to projectile, each particle of projectile. To make that, we need to make a little magic with emitter scheme. Don't worry about that, you don't need to know a lot. You just need to make a couple of steps. But before that, I want to change my window layout to see emitter scheme and preview window simultaneously. Just like this. Yeah. If you have two displays, two monitors, you probably better drag preview window or emitter scheme window on the other display, so it will be much more better. So now we see emitter scheme and preview and EmitterGuide simultaneously. So as I already said, you don't need to know much to attach one emitter to particles of another one. Just select parent emitter. In our case, it's projectile. Then you need to open blocks palette, find attached emitter in particles properties group, and drag it to emitter scheme. Then in its properties and properties of attached emitter block, you need to select connected emitter as spray. And now you see to each particle of projectile instance of spray attached. We don't need spray to work standalone, so I click to spray and remove standalone checkbox. And we see that only attached spray emitters left. Now we can return to EmitterGuide, and as you can see, particles of spray emitter are generated periodically. So 50 particles per second are generated independently on speed of projectile particle or anything else. But in case of dynamic parent, like when emitter is attached to particles of another one, it might be better to use generation from past distance. In this case, we can specify distance interval for each shot, if each particle shot. In our case, we have 5 pixels, so after passing each 5 pixels, we have one particle shot. If I change it to 50 pixels, we have rare particles shot. So I return it to 5. But in this case, when parent particle will stop, it will not generate a spray emitter will not generate particles at all. Let me increase little life of projectile, like 3 seconds. And you can see when projectile particle slows down and when it almost stopped, spray generates less particles, and if projectile will stop, it will not generate at all. So in this case, we can attach two emitters. One spray emitter will generate particles from past distance, and another one I will make copy of spray emitter. Another one will generate particles periodically. So even when a projectile particle stopped, it will one of spray emitters will still generate particles. So I make reflection from spray emitter, call it periodic, then separate it, because I can't change generation type. Separate, change to periodic rate 50, and I need to attach another one emitter to projectile. So I return to blocks palette, drag attached emitter, and select spray periodic. Now we have two emitters attached to each particle of projectile, and you can see one of them always generate particles even when parent particle is stopped. So as you can see, attaching emitters to particles of another one is pretty easy. I will not tell in this tutorial about passing different parameters like color or texture type or something else from parent particle to attached emitters, because this tutorial is about EmitterGuide mostly, and such passing parameters passing requires emitter scheme modifying. So about that I will make a different tutorial in terms of emitter scheme tutorial set. So in this tutorial I want to show you another one useful technique for attached emitters. It's called shooting on termination. So, for example, I want to make a burst when my projectile particle dies, like it was shot, and in the end of its life, it will have a small burst, small boom. So I will delete one spray emitter, and another one I will make periodic. Rate I will make 2 shots per second. And now I need to also to move to emitter scheme to make burst shots for spray emitter. I select generator, it is yellow block on the top, and I will set burst from 1 particle each shot to 50 particles. And you can see each shot we have small burst of particles in that position. I need only one shot, so I set fixed shots enabled checkbox and set fixed shots to 1. And this emitter will shoot only once. But now it shoots when a particle is just created. And to make it shoot when it dies, I select projectile emitter, then select attached emitter spray. I don't need another one, so I'll delete it. Attach the emitter spray and check on terminate checkbox. In this case, we will have spray shot when a projectile dies. And you can see now we have something like fireworks. You can also create a third emitter and attach it to each particle of spray emitter. But be careful in that case. If you make such multi-level attachment, it can generate a huge number of particles. So just be careful. So that's it for this tutorial. You saw a simple case of attached emitters, which you can use easily with EmitterGuide. And watch next tutorials. Thank you. Bye bye.